Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's webinar about cybersecurity. I'm Walter Brown, the president and founder of Advanced IT here in Chicago. Through immense dedication and hard work, I have gained 20 plus years of experience in the IT industry. I have worked with numerous organizations all across the United States. I have learned from my experience that you have to take precautions when necessary. That's why I have decided to talk about cybersecurity. I'll share a quick story while we are waiting for others to get logged in and settled in. We were referred to a client, but were only told that they needed some IT help. I reached out to the company owner and was told a very shocking story. About 3 months ago, he received an email. The email looked legitimate from one of his clients. The email had an attachment for a document to sign. He opened the email, and after a few moments, he supplied his Office 365 credentials. He received a pop-up that said the computer had been crypto-locked and that he would have to pay a ransom to reverse what has happened. He didn't think anything of it and ignored the pop-up. He said he wasn't computer savvy and didn't know what to do. He ended up forwarding the email to a person on his staff to review the document, since he didn't understand what was going on. The staff member informed the owner that this was a bogus email and not to open it. Too late. The files on his computer were starting to become crypto-locked. In the background, and the computer, because this computer was connected to the network and the server, the hacker was able to move laterally onto the server and started to encrypt his essential files on the server. The staff member jumped into action, disconnected the computer and the server from the network, thus isolating the two machines from spreading further onto other devices on the network. At this point, they called their friend who did IT and tried to help. Well, the friend tried to unencrypt the files on the owner's laptop, and doing so had lost the entire hard drive. Proper precautions were not taken, and the client had lost everything on his laptop. They realized maybe the friends might not have such luck with the server and worried that the important files would be lost. They reached out to our mutual client and asked for a referral for IT help, and our mutual client referred them to us. I asked the standard questions. Have you contacted your insurance carrier? No insurance. When was the last successful backup taken? Well, that's an issue because technically we don't have a backup. What does the server host? Everything. And a few follow-up questions. But finally, how much is the ransom? $8,000. Sadly, I had to tell the client that they would have to pay the ransom to get the files back from the hacker. You might think, well, this isn't a big amount of money, but this is for a small business of 4 people. So, are you 100% prepared for the case cybersecurity incident? Are you prepared to have your business down for 20 or more days? Have you ever thought why IT professionals keep talking about the importance of cybersecurity? Microsoft and Okta were breached in March of 2022. We are only 4 months into the year, and these are some of the headlines. If you have tried to look for cybersecurity answers yourself, it might have led you to an overload of information. If you haven't, then believe me when I say your data is at risk if you haven't invested in cybersecurity already. People who have been lucky in the world of frequent cyber attacks might think it isn't an investment you should be making. I say it's the only investment that keeps your crucial data safe. Without it, your business can lose its identity in an instant. There has been a constant voice in my head telling me to explain how vital cybersecurity is to my clients and other business owners I meet. Stefan Napo said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and a few minutes of a cyber incident to ruin it. It's true though. It can take years to build your business and its reputation, but you're only a minute away from being hacked. If you're lucky, it might not happen to you. But what if you're not fortunate enough and everything you've worked for is taken away from you in the blink of an eye? You will have difficulty turning things around. What would you say then? So this session is 45 minutes and is divided into 5 sections. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, followed by an exciting giveaway. Only people that are present at the end of the session will be eligible for this giveaway, so stick around. So here's what we'll be discussing in today's webinar. Cybersecurity stats of 2021, challenges for 2022, threats for cybersecurity and how to tackle them, how companies fall prey to cyber attacks, and how advanced IT can assist you. What often comes as a shocker is small or medium-sized companies think cybersecurity is not for them. According to them, the bigger the organization, the more they need cybersecurity. You need to understand that the organization size doesn't even matter. The lesser the protection, the higher the chances of an attack. In 2020, 17% of breaches involved malware, like Trojan horses or keyloggers. 22% featured phishing attacks, and 45% were hacking. Let's move on to the cyber attack stats for 2021, where the numbers are even higher. 43% of cyber attacks target small businesses. As I mentioned earlier, as long as you have some valuable information, you'll always be under the threat of cyber attack, irrespective of the size of your business. Cybercrime is up 600% due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Not a shocker at all. The pandemic has made data breaches much easier for phishers. By pretending to be part of a prestigious organization like the WHO and the CDC, attackers send in malicious attachments through emails. Remote work has increased the average cost of a data breach by $137,000. We all understand that remote work doesn't have the same level of security as an office does. This makes it more vulnerable to cyber attacks. More than 500,000 Zoom user accounts were compromised and sold on the dark web. Since the pandemic, Zoom has been the most popular video conferencing platform for organizations. Naturally, therefore, the attackers have been targeting it since then. According to Fortune, data from 500 million LinkedIn user accounts have been scraped and put online. The cost of recovering the data is always more expensive than staff training and enforcing security best practices. 94% of malware is delivered via email. Phishing attacks have been on the rise since the pandemic. They impersonate trustworthy entities like the CFO or the CEO to get personal information. Only 16% of executives say their organizations are well prepared to deal with cyber attack. I'm sure most of you haven't made up your minds yet when it comes to investing in cybersecurity, but you should. Over 77% of organizations do not have a cybersecurity incident response plan. Many organizations do not fear cybersecurity incidents because they think they are either too small to be targeted or don't think they will ever happen to them. Now, that's a major mistake to make. The insurance companies now require you to have cybersecurity. And over 80% of the reported cybersecurity threats were from phishing attacks. Now, here are some snapshots from the dark web showing that your credentials can be for sale for a small fee. Here are some of the anticipated cybersecurity challenges that we may be facing in 2022. And as a business owner, you should look out for. Cyber criminals will actively steal data from your employees working remotely. This is bound to happen. Wi-Fi connectivity at home is not as safe as they are in the office. Cloud breaches are becoming common. Poor cyber hygiene, like using unprotected Wi-Fi networks, will give a lot of opportunities to hackers. Companies might face a shortage of skilled labor, fully equipped to counter cybersecurity threats. And organizational funds to enhance cybersecurity and reduce risks will include application monitoring, authentication, and cloud data protection. So some of the major threats to cybersecurity. We have hacking. Haven't we always heard about the importance of keeping strong passwords and multi-factor authentication process? Well, if not taken seriously, this can result in cyber attacks, hacking your data. So please don't take these steps lightly, because you might lose all of your essential data in the blink of an eye. Phishing. What if I tell you, as of January 2022, Google has found 2,145,000+ registered phishing sites, which is a 27% growth from last year. In case you were wondering what phishing files look like, well, they can be just like any other regular attachment in email that might look like it came from an authentic source, but it's clearly not. Supply chain risks. As business operations expand, third-party vendors start coming into your internal network. This puts your business at risk if precautions are not taken. The cybersecurity solutions provider should have the requisite layers of protection to make sure that your data is safe from every threat. If you think large corporations have nothing to worry about because of their heavy investment in cybersecurity, think again. For example, Maersk, one of the biggest container shippers, had to stop operations at 76 ports because of an attack in their supply chain network. Man-in-the-middle attacks. Imagine if somebody was listening to all of your conversations. Wouldn't that be awkward? Hey, Alexa, what time is it? Well, man-in-the-middle attacks are similar to this. Attackers successfully enter the traffic, disrupt your communications channels, and steal all of your important data. Eavesdropping is an example of man-in-the-middle, where the attackers make victims feel that they are talking to a friend. If you had Alexa activated and listening at this time, you should have had it muted. DNS tunneling. One of the most common mistakes companies make is not to inspect DNS traffic for malicious traffic. DNS tunneling can encode data of programs in DNS queries and responses. Many attackers take advantage of this vulnerability and insert malware into the systems that help them surpass many firewalls. So, how can we strengthen our systems to avoid a data breach? Now we know the risks. We also understand the vulnerabilities turn out to be beneficial to hackers. The question is, how do we tackle them? Well, here's how. We raise awareness in teams. A team without constant training can prove to be futile for your business. We face threats every day. Therefore, your team should be prepared for just about anything. With regular workshops focusing on safety protocols, your team can indeed tackle any threat that enters your system. Invest in cybersecurity. This is something I'm always talking about. There are a lot of companies that offer cybersecurity services, but finding the right one might not be that easy. For that, I would say business owners should realize that investing in cybersecurity is not an expense, but you're investing in something that's protecting you from future accidents. Whether your company is small, medium-sized, or large, investing in cybersecurity is as important as your business operations are. Now download your updates. Another mistake made by various businesses is that they're reluctant to download system updates. Now, the thing is, these updates are actually preventing cybersecurity threats and therefore should never be ignored. Prevent database exposure. Preventing database exposure is extremely important if you don't want your data to fall prey to malicious attackers. Therefore, keep your physical hardware safe, encrypt your server data, install a web application firewall, take regular backups, and limit server access. You're all set now. Implementing strong authentication. Whether it's Google or just Facebook, we've all gone through the process of the two-step verification. However, it does come with a skip this step button, which I'm sure most of you do click because you don't want to go through the lengthy verification process, right? It's a simple password enough. The answer is no. By skipping the two-step verification process, you're allowing cyber criminals to hack your social media profile or maybe your Google account, to which everything is linked to, literally. Now, I've talked about cybersecurity in a lot of depth in the session. I'm sure many of you might have made up your mind about investing in cybersecurity. So let me tell you how advanced IT can be an excellent choice for you. At Advanced IT, we secure you with comprehensive solution, state-of-the-art cybersecurity programs, 24/7 monitoring of our security operations center, antivirus. We use programs that scan systems and networks for any actors hiding in your network, waiting to launch an attack, and provide our clients with detailed reports. Back up each workstation. Back up your Google or G Suite or Office 365 instance. We also provide a comprehensive backup and disaster solution if servers are on site. We monitor the dark web to see if users' credentials are being sold on the dark web, and clients are notified as soon as they are detected. And we phish staff emails to teach them how to identify phishing emails. If they fall victim to our attempts, we teach them what they should be looking out for before they open those emails. So some of the takeaways from today's seminar: big or small, cybersecurity is a need for all businesses. Precautions are always cheaper than the cure. With remote work on the rise, you can always be at risk because of your employees. Make sure they have secure internet connectivity and cyber protection. You will have to train your employees in the ever-changing world of information technology. And cybersecurity is not an expense, but an investment to a thriving and protected business. We've come to the end of the session, and I wouldn't want you to leave without a little surprise planned by our team at Advanced IT. So you can sign up for a free dark web scan right here, $100 value. Just go to cyberwebinar.advancedit.net and sign up your company for a free dark web scan. This offer is only for those who have participated in today's webinar, and the link will be taken down in the next 48 hours. So sign up today. Do we have any questions that I can answer? Great question. Thank you. So yes, we do offer other services besides cybersecurity. We do have 24/7 help desk, 24/7 network operations center. We also have on-site staff that can assist clients with any issues, and a plethora of things. Please feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about it some more. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions that I can answer? If we have no other questions, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to attend the webinar. I hope it was informative and motivated you to finally invest in cybersecurity. For those of you who want to know more about our services, feel free to book a slot on my calendar by going to our website, www.advancedit.net. My calendar is at the bottom of the website. If we have no other questions, how much time does it take for a dark web scan? Great question. So a dark web scan actually can take only a few moments. We enter in the domain of the company and the program goes out into the dark web and scrapes that information. It could take 30 minutes at the most. But if we are monitoring the dark web for your company, those reports are sent to us daily so that we know if there's any compromises online. Any other questions? Great question. No, you do not have to supply any credentials for us to perform the scan. All we need is your domain name and your authorization to do the scan. We can either do a full scan or we can do a scan that masks passwords. So both are an option. Anybody else? Well, thank you everybody for attending. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email is walter.brown@advancedit.net. Have a wonderful day.